I think it's, both teams that try to win the paint. They present a lot of problems because of the size that they put on the floor at so many different positions. Their ability to shrink the floor but still get out to shooters. They got guys who have taken the individual challenge of defending their man and keeping their guy in front of them. They do a really good job, of forcing you into turnovers. So those are things that are going to be key. But then we got to hang our hat on who we are. We got to go out and do the same thing. And finish possessions, I think, is going to be huge for us. So shrink the floor, protect the paint, but battle like hell on the boards, and give ourselves a shot.
With what you've mentioned is unique to them defensively, what do you have to be, diligent about then offensively?
Taking care of the basketball. That's first and foremost. We can't afford to not get shots on goal. They can be extremely explosive when you turn it over, getting out, and now you're, adding fuel to their fire. So we need to make them take the ball out of bounds as much as we possibly can tonight.
Chris.
Hey, JB.
What's up, Chris?
When it comes to Karras, he's been on a couple of games now. Do you plan on bringing him on this upcoming road trip with you guys?
That's the plan, yeah.
Do you think there's an anticipation of him returning at some point during that trip?
We're hopeful. Again, how many days can you do something and then the next day be better? And that's what we're aiming for. But that's our plan.
And then last year, you guys had one of the best home records in the entire NBA. This year, in the conference, it's actually one of the worst. Is there anything to that? Are you seeing anything with that?
No, to be honest with you, not really. Again, I think, this is going to be about 82 games for us, and that's our focus. Our aim is to have our team together, which I think we've still been missing a little bit. But we get healthy, we're going to be a good team. So, we're focused on the 82, and we'll just keep taking them as they come.
I asked Isaac the same question yesterday. You guys at this point have not gotten the results that you wanted. You called it inconsistent. Max said average. What is it that allows you as a coach to still believe, still have confidence that you are going to get to the place when you haven't yet?
I just believe in these guys, and I understand the process of building team in the NBA. Building team in the NBA is not an easy process, and it's not something where you skip steps. In making adjustments on what we've learned from the past, those things take time. Our offense is different this year, and we haven't had all of our pieces in that offense, this year for enough games to say, this isn't work, we need to try something else, or this is good enough because they got it. So we're still working through those things, but I know the character of the guys in that locker room. I know we continue to get better defensively, which we have. We're going to give ourselves a chance when our offense starts clicking. And you look at the firepower that's in that locker room, there's no reason why, it won't.
Evan.
Evan Damer, I'll write down you. But JB, you just mentioned it's a team-building process of figuring out the next steps. But does it feel like you guys are getting closer and closer to just turning that corner and kind of getting past some of the frustrations that you've been dealing with early in the year?
Yeah, and I don't want to, overlook. We're 7-3 in our last 10 basketball games. We had one disappointing loss here at home versus Portland, but we've been playing much better basketball. Bless you. We've been playing much better basketball here of late, and there's no reason to expect why that won't continue. We've got some really good and tough opponents coming up, but in this stretch, we've beat some really good teams. So, I don't know. I guess the record says what it says, but the trends are all going in the right direction, and it's our responsibility to continue trending in that direction.
And when you look at a team like Orlando, they are a young team that prides themselves on the defensive identity. Do you see some sameness to how you built this team and just how it's a defensive first identity and it's just a younger squad?
Yeah, I think that's where we started, and my relationship with Jamal, we share a ton of ideas, we share a ton of beliefs, we share cultural identities, about what's important, what matters to winning, and I think it's a very similar thing, and understanding to get young guys to commit to the defensive end, because they all come in with such offensive talent isn't an easy task, but in the long run, if you get teams to do that, as their offense continues to develop and they get better and better, if they still have that defensive mindset, it's going to give them an opportunity to go further and hopefully get there quicker. And I think that's what you've seen in Orlando, and that's kind of the steps that we've taken as well.
Nate.
Nate Allcack, Regional. Hey, JB, with the little bit of break you had since Saturday, how much was that needed, and what do you think are the main things you guys accomplished?
We got to practice. I think that's one of the things, like with so many games and, the injuries and in and outs, like we had actually got an opportunity to identify things that we needed to work on and then work on those things, not in a game setting where you could, stop a drill, you could correct the drill, you could coach it, and then go back and do it again, right away. A lot of this has been learning on the fly for us. So, you make a mistake in a game, you don't come right back to that same situation. It might happen 5 or 10 plays later, and because you've thought about something else, you might make the same mistake. So it was just a great opportunity for us to get, some work in and, hammer down on the details of what we're trying to do.
Anything else in the room? Oh, last one, Serena.
Coach, are there signs that you've seen that Evan Mobley is an even better one-on-one defender this year than last year?
We've gotten to the point where we just think he's so good. It's hard to say that he's even better than what we've seen before. What I see with Evan is a versatility that you just don't see in many guys with his size. How many guys in this league at that size do you feel have an advantage if you switch him on anybody on the perimeter? And right now, that's kind of the way that I see Evan is. Evan's going to force you to take the shot that he wants you to take, not let you get to his. So better, I don't know, but elite for sure.
So if I told you that he was currently number 2 stats-wise, isolation, defender, it wouldn't surprise you?
It wouldn't surprise me at all. I'd be surprised he wasn't number 1.
Okay, we're going to wrap the coach.